We're here with Hayden after this afternoon's 3-3 draw at home to Margate. Hayden, our third consecutive draw to start the season, but quite a different game from the previous two games.
Entirely different. Absolutely right. I agree. We wasn't right. We wasn't right throughout the game. I think today we really saw one or two players that were learning something different. To be fair, as I knew Jay from the past, I knew his teams would be one of the most organised teams in the league and difficult to play against. And what Jay was doing is he was suffocating all the space in the middle of the pitch to stop us breaking lines and playing through the thirds. And sometimes you've got to accept there's two sides on the pitch, and let's give them credit for that. But for the first time on the positive side, you saw that Kingstonian, when asked a tactical question, had the ability to do something different. So he moved to a lopsided midfield and played with two strikers, putting more pressure on their back players, and I think that helped us get on the front foot and in the ascendancy, as opposed to the first half, the game being played in safe areas that was never going to hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite an odd game in that it felt like we were going forward much more threatening in the second half, but we scored two of our goals in the first half. It felt quite a sluggish start to the game. Was that adapting to the tactical stuff that you talked about, or was it, I don't know, just didn't seem quite at the races for the first 20 minutes almost?
I agree with you, but I do think that we should give Margate some credit for that. I said from the start that here's a team that I think will be in the top 5 and fight for the title. They've had 3 draws like us. All the best teams are the slow starters. But they have a great organisation with myself, with Jay. There's 2 really experienced coaches, and there's 2 very experienced coaches that both know each other really well. And so they come with a game plan to stifle us with the ball. And I agree, that made it look ineffective, a little sloppy, maybe even a little bit toothless at times. And it was only in the second half where I felt we rode our luck in the first half to come in 2-2, if I'm honest. And as disappointed as I was with our defending, Jay will be with the defending of his team for the 2 goals. But I felt if we changed it tactically and asked them a different question and put far more pressure on their centre halves, that it would give us the platform to go and win the game. Went to 3-2, could have gone to 4-2, and disappointed that inexperienced defending from Jerry, in part anyway, resulted in a penalty that's cost us 2 points.
It's amazing we've got this far into this conversation without talking about our goals. A fine hat-trick from Louie today. What do you make of his performance?
I think Louie's been tremendous all season, and he's deserved his goals. He played very well last Saturday, deservedly got the man of the match from the supporters, which was great gesture. But didn't score and probably ought to have scored. I think Louie will accept that again we go to Wingate, and certainly the effort that his rebounds off the crossbar, you'd put your mortgage on him to score. It wasn't quite his day. So today he's deserved his goals for his contribution to the season. I think he's a terrific lad. I think I've been open to say I think he's the best centre forward in the league. And if I was Louie today, I would be the most disappointed person in the dressing room. He's the happiest because he scored a hat-trick, and at the moment I've just arranged for them to sign the match ball for him. But he should be the most disappointed because he should remember the match ball for the victory. And because defensively we wasn't on point, we have to accept a draw.
In terms of defensively, felt like all 3 goals, one way or another, were quite disappointing goals to concede. Felt like Rob got quite a strong hand to the first goal. Obviously, the second goal's quite unlucky with the deflection, and then a penalty for the third. Is it just individual mistakes, or was there anything more systemic wrong at the back today?
No, I think collectively. I think collectively it was wrong today. You know, one of the points that we've made in preparation for the game is Jay's teams are very organised, and in being organised, they're not going to come here and try to take us on at football so much, but they will be very dangerous from set plays. And I thought that we were sloppy from set plays. This I don't think you can hide behind this as a new team, because none of those outfield players have defended that way from corners for me for the last 18 months, certainly a year. And they know their responsibilities, and importantly, they know how to spring people with responsibilities from short corners. the first goal emanated from that, albeit it was resulted, I think, in the second phase. We didn't get enough pressure on the ball, and the guy scored at the far post. It's good delivery from Margate. It's a good goal for us. It's really disappointing defending. The second goal, I think we were loose and a little unlucky to be beaten with a deflection. That seems to be how things are going at the moment. And the third goal, if yes, albeit Jerry, but I don't want to blame him because he's a young player. He's a young player that's done really well. But a more experienced defender then simply stands his ground, and his body shape dictates the next move of the striker. If you go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and then find yourself flat, you'll always end up in giving away a penalty, or you'll concede the ground and he'll score. So that's a really technical error from a young man. But I don't want to kill him, because there's many good things come from such a young player who's been thrown in at the deep end a little bit. So I think the honest thing is to look at the collective rather than the individual mistakes, and temper that with the second goal, a little bit of cruel fortune as well.
It seemed towards the end of the game in particular, it got quite heated, and a few refereeing decisions that maybe seemed a bit questionable for some people. And obviously the penalty as well. Any complaints about the referee today, or was it all minor issues?
See, you're trying to get me to break my golden rule now. I thought that there was one or two incidents that I think that the referee should have looked a little bit harder with, and I think that gets people a little bit frayed in their temper. But there is a good side to that. I don't want to judge, I don't want to criticise Kingstonian of last year. But what I will say of my team and of these players is that even when they're not right, what they're going to do is they're going to put a shift in, and they're going to fight for the points. They know as today we wasn't right, but we be determined when we're not right, we're not going to lose. We're going to fight for each other. And if people want to try and beat us up, then if they take one of the players on, they take all of the players on, because they're a team in every sense of the word. And I think that's what you saw. You merely saw a group of lads that were protecting their teammates, and with the absolute dynamic of, you can't pick us off, I beg your pardon. We're a team and we fight as a team. I don't mind that so much, providing it's controlled. I look at it: is the glass empty? Is the glass half empty? I beg your pardon. Or is the glass half full? I think it's another game where you come away and you think, I think that we should win the game, but we are unbeaten, and I'm seeing many good things. And the best thing today was, I don't think that we played well, but we scored 3 goals, and you've seen a team that fight for each other when they're not on point with the ball. That's a really important quality to move forward with.
You mentioned the change you made at half time, and for me, I thought Thompson straight away came on and had an impact, and him and Louie were linking up well. There was then the change after we went ahead, where we brought on another striker and took off a wide player, and Louie went out wide. What was the thinking behind that, and are you happy with how that decision worked out?
I'm not surprised you question that decision, because if I was a supporter, I would question that decision as well. And this is where we're a little bit handcuffed, we're a little bit low on numbers at the moment. If you see, Rousseau unfortunately was taken to hospital last night with stomach pains. Thankfully, I think he's okay, but he's still in hospital. We see Dan Hector, who is a young player. He come off injured, as you know, moved away from the pitch injured on Saturday. Wasn't fully fit, hasn't been able to train, wasn't fully fit. Youssef Bamba is his first game. And the truth is, Youssef Bamba simply ran out of legs. So if even a player like Gasso is there today, you can secure the game. But the personnel wasn't there to secure the game. Now, if we look back at when we played Tonbridge in 1-4-3 in a similar situation, Louie played in that position and gave us a great solidity. And in fairness to Callum, I thought he caused them a problem when he came on. He was running in behind, was very good. Was I happy with the way that it worked? I would say, as pleased as I was with the tactical switch in half time and how that worked, I wasn't so pleased with the way that worked. But as the numbers come back, I think that there's decisions that won't have to be made, because there'll be better fits to areas that we need to change around tactically during the game.
Well, it's been 3 draws to start the season. Fortunately, we're only playing the favourites to the title and the team who won 6-0 today next week in Hornchurch. So,
what a great game!
Perfect way to get the first win.
These are the games that you live for. Listen, we're Kingstonian. We don't care who we play to win. And I say it's really fine margin. So let's say, like, they use the analogy as a glass half empty, as a glass half full. We're unbeaten. I bet there's not many teams in the league that are unbeaten at the moment. I think, strangely, not that it's important at the moment, but we moved up the league. We will be where we need to be when we need to be there. And to use the example of last season in Merstham, everybody was panicking. We played 3 games and had 1 point. Everybody was panicking in November when we were 18th. No one was panicking in March when we were second and the team finished 1 point off second. I guarantee you, the more I work with these players, I guarantee you that we will be where we need to be when we want to be there. And I think that it's a great group. I think that the dynamic at this club can only move forward, and I'm really excited about the prospects for this season.
Right, well, on to next week. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Cheers.